Good morning and welcome to our first video for the YouTube channel. It's Sunday morning and I've decided to bring my nephew to church. Not any old church, quite possibly my favourite old church. We've come out to have a look at Heath Chapel, just off the Brown Clee. Now what's special about it is that it's Norman. It sits on its own, in its own little area. And the houses that it once served have long gone. So we're going to go and have a closer look and see what we can find. Okay, so this classic Norman doorway suggests that this was built in about 1150. The buildings to the left of us, which have long gone, there was a small settlement here. And they said that I think later on the plague played a very heavy part in this area, and there's only the church that remains. If you look here, these tiles are almost certainly Roman, and they're featured quite a lot on the front of the building. These iron hinges on the door are almost certainly original, dating back, I say, almost 1,000 years now. That's an incredible piece of history. Sandstone, gritstone. Obviously the weather has taken its toll, but you can just see the minimalistic carving. And what is fascinating about this church is that it is simple and it's unassuming. When you see churches that are very elaborately carved, quite often there's been a wealthy benefactor that's put money in, and the idea was they believed, as the landowner, if they gave the church loads of money, they would get to heaven quicker. There's no evidence of that here. It's a very, very unassuming place of worship. Let's go and have a look inside. We've come inside, and it really is an amazing place. You do get an enormous sense of spirituality. It's not by any means the busiest place of worship, but when worship has gone on in one place for such a long time, I do think it becomes quite special. This is a Norman font, the original font. Font used for baptism, always positioned by the entrance to the church, by the door, because they symbolise the entrance to the church. And what a fantastic piece of stone that is. These pews would have been added perhaps in the 1600s, all oak. And what is interesting is if we look over to this one here, this is what we call a box pew. This would have been for the family, maybe the squire or the local landowner. He would have had his own box pew, so he didn't have to sit with the rest of the villagers. There's a very nice sign which says "Do not touch the walls." There is traces of really early wall paintings over here behind the very simple rustic pulpit. You can see the wall decorations, and going down towards the altar. No, actually I think that's the family pew there, that one. That would make sense, that's the family pew. Yeah, a really, really simple but incredibly spiritual place. Tucked out in the middle of nowhere. And I really do wonder what these walls have seen, what weddings, what funerals, what baptisms. Heath Chapel. It's a little bit of a trek to find, but if you're out this way and you're walking, or even if you're in the car, that was the lights that went off there on a timer. Gosh, if you are out this way, it's definitely worth popping in and just taking a moment to appreciate the 1,000 years of worship in one place. Many thanks, and we'll see you soon.